Hello guys and welcome back to the 30-part tutorial of how to model the island. So this time this part will focus on creating roof tiles like ceramic tiles roof, and before that I want to talk about just a little bit more about the stairs, and I think this is very important, so I'm gonna expand this subject a little bit more. As you can see, I've done everything in order to get the main shape solid, and as well I did attach those rails into each other that way, so it's patched. Everything is here patched, um, except of course the poles are not attached to those stairs. Okay, they are just combined. Now with that, after you doing this, I'm just suggesting a few things and explaining some things. So here I didn't patch this to that one or combine it for no really good reason, but anyway, I just extruded this face here, and I used the snap feature in order to snap vertices to that area, and that way I got this to be assembled, or at least look like it's assembled. After that, I chose to make some smoothness to the rail. So the way you want to do, you want to go with it, you want to click on this, shift click on this, and you can either skip this one or grab it as well. So we're going to grab this and that. Now if you choose to grab this, then you can just click this one, go all the way down here and double click on that one or that one. But right now I'm just going to show you how to do this. I'm not fully well, I think that maybe I will add sort of angled rail here, like sort of spiral rail here at the end or at the beginning of the stairs. But just to show you, I'm gonna grab this one and then shift double click on that one. So only those faces are selected, nothing else. We can go and click extrude this out a little bit that way, not too much, okay, just a little bit that way, and can right click, choose edge, grab this edge, go all the way down here, double click on this edge, shift select this one and double click at the top, double click here. Okay, shift right click, bevel edge. You can change the fraction here as much as you can and add more segments if you like. That way you will have a nice smooth rail. Okay, so this is one thing for that. The next thing is something that's got to do with this. After you connect those stairs into each other, like bridging all those faces, what will happen is that you're gonna have these, okay, these edges. So if I'm double clicking on this, it loops selecting it, and you can see that on this side, you also select this one. That means that it's not possible. If there is a selection here, that means that actually there are two edges here hiding. And the reason is because each stair had its own edge. And if this one is loop selected, that means that you can delete it and still have a one here instead. Okay, so it's not instead, it's just that it belongs to both of them right now. They are sharing the same edge. So you want to remove those all. Okay, so just shift double click on all of them and you can simply delete them. They are unneeded. This is the second thing. The third thing is, well, I'm not counting well, I think, but anyhow, whenever I created the tutorial part 28, number 28, what happened is that I was really extending those stairs all the way over here, and it was just not reasonable, okay? And even like that, I'm not fully satisfied with that, but I need to manage with what I have on the island and keep everything as it is. So right now, I'm just satisfied with this. So what I've done, whenever I started to duplicate them in an angle, I kept doing the duplication all the way, even behind this, about 3-4 more times, just to get intersected with the ground, and some of them was inside. Okay, and then I picked the one that is first peeking out from the ground. This was the one. Okay, uh, I choose to focus on it. I didn't delete the others yet, and what I've done is simply starting to, I chose like two to have two in between. So if I have this one, two blank, one with pole, two blank, one with pole, and I went all the way that way, counting, making sure that this is where I want this, and I got into this thing here that I said, okay, this is the one of the first that picking out. I'm talking about the stairs. If this is equal and everything is set correctly, I don't mind and go and change, well, delete the rest first, and then take the land and modify it. So in order to modify the land, I know that I told you that you can take the scalped brush and simply try with Control and Shift, push this inside, but you can go this in different way, do this in different way. You can select the selection tool, and if you double click on it, you will see this tool setting. You can expand the soft selection tab and click on that. This will allow you to um, well, adjust your fall off radius. Okay, so fall off radius, you can do something such as this. If you see, I'm hovering my mouse while I'm in vertex mode, and if I'm pointing to this vertex, it shows me that this vertex and the entire area here that is painted with this strange color will be modified as well. So I'm just picking one vertex, moving it that way, and I can fix this issue with the stir. Now I don't really like the way it looks here, so I can also move these or a few of them at the same time just to bring this entire thing a little bit down and make things look more as they should. Okay, now I don't want to change it too much. I want the stair to be in reasonable height, so that way. Now I'm gonna turn this off. By the way, you can press B while you're in selection tool. B as like brush, but if you remember, the brush size are controlled by this key. But whenever you are not in sculpting brush mode and you are in selection mode, you can press B to turn this on or off. Okay. Now, what's nice about this soft selection is that if it was turned off and I would go and choose the scale tool, okay, and try to squeeze one vertex, nothing will happen. You can't really do this. You need at least two vertices in order to make this work. Now, if you remember, when I draw this line underneath the house, I show you that if you in I don't know, at some point you choose that you don't want this cut to look like this, you can right click, choose vertices, grab all those vertices and flatten them, right, and just pull them a little bit outside, down like so, right. So this works because we have more than one vertex selected. But here you can do the same thing only when you are in soft selection mode. So I'm going to turn on the soft selection mode, and if I'll pick this vertex, I can squeeze it, and you will see that the entire area is getting flattened that way. Okay, so you want to take this in mind and make use of it. Okay, so this is the third thing, and I'm going to turn off the soft selection tool. Again, B turns it on or off. Yeah, this is pretty much it. So I'm going to hide the island right now. Oh, by the way, I deleted all the faces here that belong to the stairs because they are intersecting with this wall here of the house, and I don't want this to happen, so therefore I deleted all of them. I thought maybe to cut this area, but I don't want to screw things up here, so I leave it that way. I don't mind that this is that way. Um, Anyhow, I hided that, you know, Highland. I'm going to go over edit delete by type history here. By the way, whenever you're working on the stairs, every 4 steps, I don't know, you're adding edges or some sort of things like that, the machine will start to slow down. You want to make sure that every, I don't know, 4 times you bridge faces, you go and delete the history. Every time you add more edges loop before you start with that process of bridging, you're adding those edges, like I showed you in part 29. You want to again go and delete the history. It will just make your the work area works a little bit faster, and just every between 3 or 5 steps do this. Okay, I don't know, this is at least what my machine can do, and I had to do this that way because this scene is just loaded too much with too many polys. So I'm gonna grab these guys. I already deleted the history for them. I'm gonna choose mesh combine. Combine always can be separated, that's okay. I'm gonna add them to a new layer. While they are selected, you click on this, it will add them into a new layer. I'm gonna hide this layer, and I'm gonna take polygon shelf, and I'm gonna take this poly pipe. Okay, let's close this one. Let's set this one to attribute editor, and I'm gonna change by pressing F to focus, and I'm gonna change this to 0.100. Okay, this will be the thickness. Subdivision axis, you want to have 10. Now, whatever I'm going to do right now is I'm going to create one ceramic tile for the roof. And that means, it doesn't mean that you need to do the same thing. You can choose different design for your ceramic tile roof, but pay attention to details. Some of them will be very, very crucial in order for this to work. So I picked half cut of this, edit mesh, and I'm going to extruct this. Press F8 3 times. And the reason I'm talking about different design for you is because I'm not that satisfied with what I'm going to show you now, but this will at least serve an answer on how to create this, and hopefully it will help you. So I cut these into 2 by extracting half cut of this. And what I will do here is I'm going to press D and align it with this edge. Hold down, let's double click on the move tool and reset the tool. Okay, so now I can move this towards here, and they will be at the same level that way. Okay, now I'm putting this where they are intersecting, and while I'm doing this, basically I'm gonna go and choose let's see, I'm gonna right click, choose face. I'm gonna grab these faces, delete them. I'm going to choose this one, right click, choose faces, and delete those faces. So now I need to connect those. Okay, so you're going to grab both of them, mesh combine, and then go over target weld tool options. You want to change to center, and you want to grab this one and that one. They will connect at the center, this one and that one, so on. Okay, that's cool. And we have our tile halfway ready. Now I'm going to right click, choose edge, switch to selection tool, by the way. I'm going to double click on this edge, edit mesh, fill hole. Double click on this edge, press G. I'm going to press F8, bring it back to object mode, rotate this 90 degrees, flat on the grid, like so. Right click, choose vertices. Let's grab all those vertices, bring them here. Okay, and press F8, bring it back to object mode. Now we're gonna do something like that. You're gonna first grab all of them here at this side, switch to scale tool and scale them down like so. Okay, I'm gonna press F8 to bring it back to object mode, and I'm just gonna try and do something here. I'm gonna copy this, move this one here. That way you can learn a little bit more about your shape. If those were roof tiles, they wouldn't be able to sit on top of each other that way. So that means that something is wrong with this wave shape. So we're gonna keep this one here as like here, and we're gonna adjust this one to fit this. So we're gonna grab these vertices, lower them down. We're gonna grab these, lower them down a little bit, and now I'm gonna grab this one, delete it, make a copy of this again. Let's see what else I can do here. So I can grab this one here and move it a little bit, open it up. So I will grab these vertices here and pull them that way. So they will sit on top of that. Now you want to make sure they are almost straight this way, okay? Press F8, bring it back to object mode. That's cool. We managed to do some changes here. I'm gonna take this, delete it. I'm gonna grab this one, duplicate it, and move it back here. And what I will do next is I'm gonna grab these and lower this down. No, I don't want to lower this down. I want to grab these and move them, well, not, sorry, these vertices, and lower them up. Lower them up. Of course, I'm a genius. Bring them up, sorry. So I'm trying to change this a little bit. I don't know, trying to play with it a little bit and find this position where it still looks nice and it fits this area. See? Now you can see that here it doesn't fit, but that's okay. I'm going to press F8, bring it back to object mode. So I'm satisfied with that, and I'm satisfied with that. What I meant is I'm basically satisfied with how it sits on top of each other side by side. But now I'm going to duplicate it once again and move it backwards. I need them to intersect in some point, sit on top of each other from the back. So they are layered on top of each other. So this one here need to be inside this area. So I'm gonna right click, choose vertices, and I'm gonna grab only those vertices here and use the scale tool in order to shrink this so it at least will fit this. Okay, now be aware that we're gonna use smooth preview in this case, so you don't need to shrink that too much. This area is ready, not certain, but at least for now it's ready, and this area is not. Okay, so you want to grab these now and open them up like so. You want to grab these at the same time and bring them down a little bit. Okay, you want to grab these ones, these here. You want to bring them into this same flow like so, bring them down, and maybe all of them at once now, just a little bit down. You can tweak this, okay? It's really important that you will tweak this. Don't leave it with too much. Well, I'm gonna tweak this edge first. Let's release it and bring this one here. And let's try this again. This one deleting, this one bringing here. Okay, that way. So this is nice. Now I want to smooth preview this and making sure it works. So I'm gonna grab this, shift right click, insert edge loop, and I'm gonna do supporting edge loops. One here, and exactly one here and one here. Press 3, smooth preview this. Let's take a look at this. Okay, gonna grab this one, duplicate it, move it to the back here. you can see where it goes too much. So you can see the space there, you can see the space there. That's not good. We can fix this. It's easy. I'm gonna grab this one, move it a little bit up, like so. I'm gonna grab these, move them up. Move them maybe like so, like that. That's acceptable, okay? Not too much, but it's acceptable. You can also only grab those and find the tuning. Don't mess with everything at the same time. We need those here to get back a little bit, like so. And at the overall, you want to make sure that your shape looks good. Like, see here, it's just a little bit broken, like, it doesn't look that good. So you can maybe push this a little bit backwards. Maybe rotate it a little bit. And if you're not really satisfied, you can add more edges to tweak this and to be a little bit more rounded. But I'm gonna stay satisfied with this. Okay, so that way we managed to create one tile that will sit perfectly underneath or above the other one. Basically it should be somewhat here. Let's say like it's covering until this line. So if this is the case, I will need to bring those back a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't take the front, take the back ones. Okay. Now because I'm using smooth preview, that doesn't look that good, but at the end, only render will tell if they are intersecting or not. Like that, you can get confused a little bit. So I'm in a position where I'm satisfied with that one. I can bring back the house. Okay. I'm gonna switch to the house layer. Sorry, this is not the house layer, but let's bring the house, is the top one. And I'm gonna bring this one over here. And the first thing before I even start, I'm gonna make it sure it's still, I have one copy which is like that, flat. I don't want to do anything with it. Flat like so, there, untouched, and bring this one over here. I'm gonna rotate this and try to match the same angle as my roof. So let's bring this near to the roof. Okay. And you want to match this to the same angle. You're going to use this as our guiding edge. Okay, this one, sorry, the one that touches first will be the good idea. See this one there? And you can see it's touching it, right? It's touching the roof, and we can do nothing about that. This is how it's going to work. So let's make sure it's at least not intersecting here. For some reason I see it intersecting, so I'm going to try and rotate this a little bit. I guess that for some reason I don't have anything to do about it. I mean, I can't really touch it too much. So let's say that this is acceptable. The only thing that is not acceptable right now is the size of it. And this will be a really huge problem if you are not gonna test this. So I'm putting this one like so, where it starts, the roof starts here. Okay, like that, exactly like that. Now I want this to peak a little bit outside of the roof here, so the rain will wash away from the house. And yeah, that way. So that's fine. Like so. You can check from floor view, and let's control D, duplicate this. Let's position this one like so, where it's not intersecting, by the way, like so, and Shift D all along there. These are big ones, okay? And that's okay right now, at least for this example. I'm satisfied with that these are big. Doesn't matter that it's going out from here, and don't worry about that. When you done to do this strip, we're now only dealing with this part of the roof, so no reason to get alarmed here. We're gonna do this, mesh combine. This is where things going to be a little bit problematic. I'm combining and centering the pivot. Control D, duplicate this, only move it to the place where it should be. So if you remember, I used that edge here to determine where the other will sit on top of it. Okay, so you want to bring this to the same level that way, like so. See, and you want to make sure that it's really sitting on top of your roof. If it's not, don't worry. Okay, just make sure that this is really where it should be. Look at this that way, make sure everything is looking good. Okay, and Shift D. Oh my god, I'm gonna undo that, sorry guys. Undo duplicate, and now I will do duplicate. Gonna bring this into position again, like so. I hate when the Shift D doesn't work, it just driving me nuts. Okay, this is good. And Shift D all the way up. If you want, go on and do a lot of coverage of this. Okay, don't worry about this. Do a lot of coverage, like so. You can even take all of them at the same time. Let's make sure we didn't select anything else. Control D to duplicate this. Move this aside, okay? Move this aside, leave it there. You will need it later on. With that done, I'm gonna get rid of those that I don't need here. So this is really where it could have been problem. Well, I guess I will have to take those down. So, and this is where it gets a little bit problematic. You can grab all these are unneeded, and delete them, but you can't really delete those because this is a problem to delete those, I guess. We can try. Let's try and take those, accept the house. So this is like somewhat acceptable because you can hide this behind another set of different tiles, but you can bring it up and then it won't really extend a little bit outside of the roof. So I'm gonna accept this, okay? This is why I said the size of this tile, one tile, is really important to be adjusted. So if at that moment you're not satisfied with what you have, go on and scale it down, scale it up, do some scale, you know, just scale it to appropriate size. And while you're happy, we'll grab all of them, except the house again. I'm gonna go over mesh, combine them. You can see it's floating above the roof. So what I will do, I will go here, hold down the D key and grab this lower edge. Doesn't matter which one. Reset the tool, by the way, so it will be like so. Switch to rotation tool and put your camera in that angle so you can see the space in between them. And easy, slowly push this, rotate this so it will lay down on the roof. Okay, so I can now either with the move tool bring this a little bit up, just tweak it a little bit more, that way it's nice, you're happy, I'm happy, all good. We're gonna take the multi-cut tool. Ah, my back, my ribs are not sitting properly. Anyway, multi-cut tool, options. Click on this. You will have these options. You have these two. Let's reset this. Delete faces and extract faces. If you click here and click here, you will, well, let's, come on. Mesh tools, multi-cut tool. If you make those two, you see your knife and a line. So you want to click here on the background and here on the background. You see how this, now when it's positioned, you can move your camera and move this to be aligned with the same, this edge of the roof. So I'm trying to use this as like so, align it with it. If you are not sure, apply X-ray, maybe you will see better. You can press 4 also and try to align this. And if it doesn't align, you can click on this little square and rotate this. Okay, like so. I'm trying to see this better, but it's hard for me. Now I don't want to zoom in because this way I'm just making it worse, maybe. Let's see. This is the roof, like so. Well, I will assume that this is where it should end. I'm just stretching this one a little bit here. And if you've seen my tutorial about the microphone grill, we use this tool. Anyway, you have this line here in the middle of that. Okay, this indicates what is going to be deleted, and this indicates where it's going to be cut, and this behind that one, like this, the other side, the opposite side, tells you that this is what is going to be remain. So you right click, and that's all. Just take a few seconds, and it's cutting this exactly where you asked it to be cut. Okay. Now guess what? We have this leftovers here. We don't want them. So we're going to use the same thing. We're going to place the camera. You don't need to move the camera. Choose a position. Click here once. Click there. Well, maybe because I can't really see it, I will click here. And now I will position this like so. This one is good. The only problem is this. It's not it's not the direction that I want this to be. So I will just flip this, bring this here, bring this here, and I will simply delete it. Right click, and that's it. Okay. Let's press 5, bring it, let's turn off the X-ray, press F8 to bring it back to object mode, and here you go, we have this almost ready. Okay, so this is how you create the tiles, making them assembled correctly, and we're gonna take the entire other. Okay, but right now I'm gonna wrap this part. I'm gonna continue the next part. I will cover the entire area here, and then we shall see. Okay, so this for now. Have a good day. I will see you at the next part. Bye bye.